Welcome back to Norman Reviews, everyone. And here's another comic, a random comic. Ultimate Wolverine versus Hulk, #1. This is in the Marvel Universe, there's the Ultimate line with Ultimate Spider-Man, Ultimate X-Men, and eventually the Ultimates, right? In the Ultimates, which is a great comic with some great art, good story, the Hulk was introduced, and he was kind of like the villain in the first little few issue story arc. And he went on a fucking rampage in New York, killed hundreds of people. Right. Um, Later in the storyline, he was tried for mass murder and executed by Shield by dropping a nuke on him. But apparently, as we'll find out, that didn't work. So Wolverine is now going to have an encounter with him. I won't spoil all the storyline, but let's get into it. So it's written by Damon Lindelof, and he's done a lot of stuff, specifically in television. He did this. He was heavily involved in the series Lost. Um, what else did he did? I mean, J.J. Abrams is known to do that, but Damon Lindelof is also a big screenwriter of that show. More so than J.J. Abrams. Like everyone gets J.J. Like, oh, he writes stuff. He doesn't know where he's going. Yeah, well, he wasn't like the primary person on Lost, you dipshits. Anyways, he also did some of the Star Trek movies, Prometheus, The Watchmen. Oh, I was looking at shit on my phone. So he's a screenwriter, right? So I think this is one of his first attempts into comic books. Lionel Francis Yu is the artist. He's excellent, excellent, excellent. He's always been a good Wolverine artist. So let's get into it. The opening of this book is one of the most unique and just like, oh my fucking god kind of moments that I've ever seen. Starts out with Wolverine just fucking hurt, and he's just beat the fuck up, blood in the snow, and he's like, I can't feel my. And then it says 3.5 minutes ago. Look at this fucking double page spread of the Hulk ripping Wolverine in fucking half. That is awesome. And like Wolverine's like, oh yeah, that's right. That's why I can't feel my legs. So that's how you start a book, ladies and gentlemen. You want to get me? You had my curiosity. Now you have my attention. So there's Wolverine. He's not dead. He can't fucking kill Wolverine like that. And he's like, I can smell my legs up the mountain. So he threw his legs up the mountain and left him here, like threw him 2 different places. So Wolverine has to crawl his ass up that mountain and find his legs to reattach them. And that's not fun. He's pissed off and he says fury. And just look at like some like Lionel. Is it Lionel? Let's just call it you. No, not you. Lionel Francis Yu. Um, he just has a very distinct style, which I really like. Um, it's hard to describe how it is. He's not unlike any other artist, really, right? But he has all the fundamentals down, and he knows how to tell a story. So we flash back, and you got Wolverine in his cowboy hat talking with, this version of Nick Fury, which is the Sam Jackson kind of inspiration. And there's like there's some useless banter. It's like, oh, do you like the cigar? Do you like the painting? He's like, what are we talking about here? Are we going to talk about arts and cigars? I don't know. Like, as a was that necessary? I guess it sets up a tone. And he's like, well, why do you think you're here? He's like, either I'm in trouble or you need my help. And Wolverine says, yeah, okay, who's the girl behind the painting? I like that shot, Wolverine with his hat and the shade, the shadows. And it's like, wait, what do you mean? And Wolverine, like, he can smell people, right? And he's like, yeah, there's actually 2 of them, and I can smell their soap, and it's kind of like this nice smelling girly soap, I guess. So he's like, and one of them's sucking on an Altoid. And Fury's like, God damn it. So he opens up, and here is Betty Ross and Jennifer Walters, basically She-Hulk before she's She-Hulk in this version, and Hulk's ex-wife. Um, and she says, it doesn't matter what they say. Oh, it does matter what they say. So he's like, she's one of the two big brains in our research and development. It's like, who's the other big brain? And then they show him this fucking jar of shit with a thumb in it. Or a finger. It's like, is that a finger? There's a jar of shit that they're looking at. Like, yep, that's a finger. He's like, why are you showing me this? And they're basically telling Wolverine that they want him to track down the Hulk. They realize that he survived the nuclear explosion and he's still running around. It's weird. I just reviewed this other Wolverine and Hulk encounter, right? And this was 1989, and this is early 2000s, mid 2000s, if I'm not. This came out 2006, so right? So that's 17 years difference. And I was reviewing this, and there was just words everywhere, right? There was just so much to like read and try and figure out what's going on in this book. This one, there's very minimal, and I'm not saying one is better than the other, but it's kind of jarring. It's just, it seems like now with these kind of comics, they take a story that probably could be told in 3 issues, spread it out into 6. This one story where Wolverine and Hulk are going around doing a whole bunch of shit, having like this fun little adventure. 1 issue. How many pages? It has an actual page count on here. 30 pages, so it's bigger than a standard 22-page book. But that was $1.50. This is $2.99, so double the price, so inflation or whatever. But just there's so many panels where there's no words on it, which works. I don't know. It's just it's hard to explain. I don't know. Like there's some comics that like there's just overly wordy, and in the '90s with most like the Image comics, they just had so much words in them. Like talk to my brother Rob on his channel. Like he points that shit out all the time. I watched his latest Spawn video talking about all the words in that on that comic, right? But it works in some, doesn't work in others. And this is more of a cinematic feel as opposed to a comic book. You get what I mean? You get it. You guys get it. So they're like, this is Hulk shit, and we found it yesterday. And Wolverine's like, looking at each other. He's like, I thought you nuked him. He's like, we did, but he's tougher than we thought. And they're trying to keep it under wraps because, you know, S.H.I.E.L.D. was supposed to kill the Hulk, and everyone thinks that they did, but now they're showing some things where there was a bombing, a pack of wolves, let's see, a massive cattle massacre that they think was wolves, and then an earthquake. But these are actually Hulk incidents. They're just, you know, masquerading as these other incidents, so the world at large doesn't know that the Hulk is around, right? But they're like, people are gonna fucking figure it out eventually. We need to kill the Hulk. So Wolverine, we're sending you in. So Wolverine's just in here for murder, and he's fine. And um, he's like, we want you to kill the Hulk, but Betty Ross, she's like, no, Bruce. He wants you to kill Bruce. And Wolverine's like looking at her. He's like, is there a difference, sweetheart? Like, Wolverine doesn't give a fuck. It's Bruce. It's the Hulk. Same person to him. It's like, are you going to do it? He's like, fuck yeah, I'll do it. And like, oh, we don't have to bribe you or threaten you or anything. He's like, no, I just Hulk stuff. I want to see if I can take him. So they think that's funny. So Wolverine needs a scent. So Jennifer Walters, so like, they'll help you with that. And I don't know. They're just kind of talking more about what the Hulk did and why it happened. Um, and there's some flirting going on too. She's like, I heard all your bones are laced with adamantium. I'm curious about your joints. I'd love for you to come in sometime so I can scan you. It's like, okay, sounds like fun. I mean, She-Hulk, Jennifer Walters is always kind of a flirt and ready to hook up with people, which is great. Just like Wolverine is a flirt and already ready to hook up with people. So it's that's kind of fun. And so she's helping, and she's like, Bruce is a nice guy. Try and make it quick, right? So I kind of like that little moment. So then we go to Tibet. I almost said Nepal, and this says 4 hours ago. So it there's a timeline going on. I don't know if I missed anything back here when the yeah, it doesn't matter. So 4 hours ago from this beginning page, because this craziness happened 3.5 minutes. So 4 hours ago in Tibet, Wolverine's walking through the shops, and he's drinking and he's doing some investigating and he's getting the scent and he's figuring out where he needs to go. But he does notice in this town there are no women, and he makes a point of that. It's like, why aren't there any girls in this town? Somehow he picks up a scent on one of these guys and he follows them with these like pack mules and stuff. And there's like an exchange of money. Wolverine's pissed off here. Zero words. But this is 91 minutes ago. Hour and a half. Go up this mountain 23 minutes ago into this cave in this huge door, which closes. Wolverine comes up to it, sniffs it, somehow gets in, and there's Hulk. With this just brothel of women, right? I mean, that's some good, cool anatomy. That's a lot of detail to have to put. Not one of them are making out with themselves. Took the opportunity there, there, and there, and there, and there. But Hulk, look at him. Looks like he's got a beer belly. He's more of a monster than a. Let's see. Let's see how many opportunities he took. That 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, he took opportunities all over the place, but that's my little catchphrase. So Wolverine comes in. All these women look at him. Hulk notices him. He's like, "Hi, Bruce," and just pops his claws. Snicked to be continued. So again, it's a good book and good art, but it's a fast fucking read, man. So it's up to you whether you think like more words would make this better and give more bang for your buck, or if this just works for it. Hard to tell. So thanks for watching. Hit that like button. I'm addicted to the likes, like I say. And as always, I will see you in the next video.